Welcome to the deep core workout for weeks 11 and 12 of Unlock Your Bautie. This is going to be the last one on the floor as we finalize mastering the fundamental deep core moves. We're going to transition to standing core work next week to help us learn how to activate and engage our core while moving through daily life and to prepare for the option of functional load training with resistance bands. Let's get started in dead bugs. Pelvis in neutral, shoulder blades attached to the floor at all times. Inhaling as you lower your arm and leg, active exhaling back up. It's really easy to be focused on where we're going, but just take a minute here and focus on how far you've come. Think back to when we first started doing these by just lifting one knee at a time. These may not be the most glamorous, but they are extremely effective, and I hope you're really proud of yourself. Release, moving into bridge pose, except we're going to turn these into glute bridges this time. Basically, we're just going to move with our breath. Get yourself positioned with your pelvis in neutral, active exhale, pushing up through your heels, this time releasing back to the floor, lowering on your inhale. And then just continue moving with your breath. Release, moving into bear crawl, hold step backs, or the option to do a high plank. If you're doing the step backs, as a reminder, you're going to inhale, tapping one foot behind you at a time, exhaling as you bring it back to center. If you're doing a high plank from tabletop, keep that same shoulder and pelvis position, just extending your legs behind you. And once you're there, check your pelvis again, make sure it's safely in neutral. To reduce the challenge a little bit, you can elevate your hands on something supportive like a pair of blocks. Keep the core engaged, but don't forget to breathe. Keep the chin tucked to protect the neck. Hold it as long as you can, but don't let yourself start shaking. That's going too far. Release down onto your stomach, moving into locust pose. This time you have the option to bind your hands behind you to increase the stretch to your chest. Again, inhaling as you lift your upper and lower body, engaging your shoulders and your glutes. Exhaling, releasing to the floor. On each inhale, see if you can reach your hands back towards your feet just a little bit more. Release, moving into bird dog, or the option to do bird dog crunches. Starting in tabletop, inhaling your opposite arm and leg, exhaling them back to tabletop, alternating sides as you move with your breath. If you want to increase the challenge for your balance and coordination with bird dog crunches, you're just going to go one side at a time, and instead of lowering your hand and knee to the floor, you're going to continue moving with that side as you breathe. So you'll inhale and extend your arm and leg, and then you'll exhale, crunching your elbow towards your knee, continuing like that without touching the ground. Same thing, always stop early if it's too much and your body starts shaking. Don't push through pain. Release, take just a mini breather. We're going to go through this one last time. Heading back into dead bugs. Inhaling as you lower. Active exhaling as you come back to center. Release, moving into glute bridges. Pelvis in neutral, knees up. Active exhale, pushing your hips up. Inhale, release. This time I want you to really focus on your pelvis placement, making sure that you keep it in neutral the entire time. One indicator that the low back may be dropping a little bit throughout movement is if you can feel some space between your low back and the floor as you come down. Ideally, your low back should touch the floor as you lower, keeping contact until you active exhale back up. So just focus on that and how your core engagement plays into your ability to keep your pelvis in neutral like that. Moving into barrel crawl, hold step backs, or high plank. Again, only hold this as long as you can without shaking or any pain or strain. It should feel challenging, but not painful. And if you can't breathe through it, it's definitely too challenging and it's time to release. Okay, release for real, moving into locust pose, option to bind your hands, and if you're doing that, just bind them the opposite way you did last time. As you're moving through these one last time, really take note of how those muscles feel just below your shoulder blades and how they work with shoulder engagement. It can be a lot easier to sense how to activate and engage these muscles when we're in a position like this on the floor and putting ourselves into spinal extension or a back bend, as opposed to when we're doing it standing and it may feel like we're going to literally topple backward. So just take note of how that feels, and we're going to work on transitioning that to things that we do as we're standing next week and moving forward. Release, moving into our last move, bird dog or bird dog crunches. If you're doing the crunches, do them on the opposite side that you did last time. Again, starting in tabletop, inhaling the opposite arm and leg out, and then active exhaling them back together. And release. That's it. You did it. You have made it through the first 12 weeks, or however long this took you. It takes as long as it takes. I hope you're really proud of yourself, and I think you're going to like where we're going next. I'll see you back here in a couple of weeks for our first standing core workout. And don't forget to check out the new stability sessions in the same playlist. See you next time.